Our video tutorial this time is about simple and compound interest. Let us define some basic terms. Interest I is the amount paid or earned for the use of money. Number of conversion periods N. The total number of times interest is calculated for the entire term of the investment or loan. Annual interest rate or nominal rate. The stated rate of interest per year. The predict rate I, the interest rate per conversion period. Present value of F or P. This is the principal that will accumulate to F if there is an interest at periodic rate for N conversion periods. Maturity value or future value, that is F. Amount after 3 years that the lender receives from the borrower on the maturity date, equal to the sum of principal and interest earned. So the maturity value or future value F is equal to the sum of principal and interest. Okay, we have here formula. Simple interest I sub S is equal to principal times rate times time in year. Future value F is equal to principal plus simple interest, or F is substituting IES by PRT or factoring out P outside. So this is our formula. Principal P, from this equation, solving for P is equal to I sub S divided by RT. Time, from this equation, T is equal to I sub S divided by PR. Solving for rate R, from this equation, R is equal to I sub S divided by P times T. Okay. For example, a bank offers 1.5% annual simple interest rate for a particular deposit. How much interest will be earned if 1 million pesos is deposited in this savings account for 1 year? So given, we have here the rate 1.5% in decimal, transfer decimal point 2 decimal places to the left. So from between 1 and 5, 1, 1, 2. Okay, next, 1 million pesos is the principal. 1 year is the time. It is asking for simple interest. So from the formula, simple interest is equal to P, principal times rate times time. Principal is 1 million times rate is 0.015, time is 1 year. So multiplying, that is 15,000 pesos. Next, when invested at an annual interest rate of 7%, the amount earned 11,200 pesos of simple interest in 2.5 years. How much money was originally invested? So this 11,200 is interest. The interest rate is 7% or 0.07. The time is 2.5 years. Just asking for the principal P. So from the formula, solving for P in this equation, so in simple interest divided by rate times time, interest is 11,200, rate is 0.07 times time 2.5. So simplify the denominator, then divide, that is equal to 64,000 pesos. Next example, Ricky borrowed 25,000 pesos and paid 1,250 pesos interest for 6 months. What was the rate of interest? So we have here this borrowed money, the principal, the interest 1,250, time is 6 months or 1/2 year, or 6/12, converting months to year. So 6/12 is 0.5 year. It is asking for the rate of interest. So from this equation, solving for R is equal to I sub S over P times T. I sub S, interest is 1,250, principal is 25,000 pesos, time is 0.5. Okay, multiplying the denominator and dividing, that is equal to 0.1 From decimal to percent, move decimal point 2 decimal places to the right. So that is 10%. Next, how long in years will it take for 17,300 pesos to amount to 20,000 pesos at 11.25% simple interest? So this is the principal and the future amount or maturity value. The rate of interest is 11.25, or changing this to percent to decimal, move this decimal point to the left to decimal places. It is asking for time in years. So from the formula, future amount equals principal plus simple interest. So solving for I sub s, it is equal to f minus p. Substitute, f is 20,000, principal is 17,300. So that is equal to 2,700 pesos. Then from this formula of simple interest, solving for t, because t is unknown, so t is equal to is divided by pr. Substitute, the interest is 2,700, principal is 17,300, rate is 0.1125, multiply the denominator and divide, that is equal to 1.39 years. So it takes 1.39 years to accumulate 17,300 to become 20,000 pesos. Find the simple interest on a loan of 65,000 pesos if the loan is given at a rate of 2% and is due in 5 years and 3 months. Okay, let us enumerate the given. This is principal, 65,000. Rate of interest, simple interest rate, 2% or in decimal 0.02. Time is 5 years and 3 months. We have to convert this 5 years and 3 months into year. Converting 3 months into year. 3 months is 3/12 year. So this is 1/4 or 0.25 years. So the time becomes 5.25 years. So using the formula, interest, simple interest equal to principal times rate times time. Substitute the principal, which is 65,000, the rate, which is 0.02, time, which is 5.25 years, multiplying the simple interest is 6,825 pesos. Next, compound interest. Let's define some very important terms. Compound amount F. This is the same as maturity value. It is an accumulated amount obtained by adding the principal and the compound interest. So compound amount F is principal plus compound interest. Conversion period M. The number of times in a year the interest will be compounded. If the interest is compounded annually, N rather M, the number of compound conversion period is 1. Semi-annually 2, quarterly 4, monthly is 12. Number of conversion periods N. The total number of times interest is calculated for the entire term of the investment or loan. Annual interest rate or nominal rate, the given rate, stated rate of interest per year. Periodic rate I. Interest rate per conversion period. Next, present value of F or in symbol P. It is the principal P, principal amount that will accumulate to F if there is an interest at periodic rate I for n conversion periods. Compound interest I sub C. Interest resulting from the periodic addition of simple interest to the principal amount. Okay, let us go about with the formula. F, the future amount, maturity value, is equal to P times quantity 1 plus I raised to the n. I is equal to nominal rate over n. N is equal to m times t. Okay, present value P is equal to F times quantity 1 plus I raised to negative n, or substituting I with R over M and N with MT. Compound interest is equal to future value minus present value. Maturity value minus present value. Or this formula. The rate, the nominal rate, is equal to M the number of compounding period per year times quantity F over P raised to 1 over N minus 1. For the time in years is equal to log of F over P all over M times log of quantity 1 plus I, where I is compound interest, P present value of F, annual interest rate R, time T is time per year, F compound amount or maturity value, N total number of conversion periods. This is the formula. N is equal to M times T. I periodic rate is equal to R over M. Okay, example. Find the compound amount and interest earned on 15,000 pesos for 1 year at a 7% compounded semi-annually. Let us write the given. 15,000 is the present value or the principal. 1 year is time. 7% is the given nominal rate. 7% of 0.07. Compounded semi-annually, so M equals 2. Next, we are going to determine I. I is equal to R over M. R is 0.07, M is 2. So 0.07 divided by 2 is 0.035. N is M times T. M is 2. T is 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. Next, it is asking for the compound amount F from the formula. Substitute P, the principal 15,000 times quantity 1 plus I is 0.035, N is 2. Simplify this one. 1 plus 0.035 is equal to 1.035. Then square the square of this quantity is 1.071225 times the principal. So the future value, maturity value is 16,068.38 pesos. It is asking for the interest, so I is equal to F minus P, maturity value minus the principal. So F is 16,068.38, principal is 15,000, subtract. So the interest, the compound interest is 1,068.38. We can solve this in another solution using the alternative formula for compound interest. Substitute the principal 15,000, I 0.035, N is 2 minus 1. Simplify this one, minus 1. So then this one, this quantity times 15,000. So we have the same answer as the previous one. Next, letter B. If it is compounded, it is 7% compounded quarterly. So the principal is the same, 15,000. The rate is 0.07 time in year. Compounded quarterly, so M is 4. So our I is R over M. M this time is 4. So 0.07 divided by 4 is 0.0175. N is M times T. M is 4. T is 1 year. So N is 4. So using the formula, principal is 15,000. I is 0.0175. N is 4. Add. Then raise to the fourth power. Then multiply with 15,000. So 16,077.89 pesos. Then it is asking for the interest. Interest is equal, compound interest is equal to future amount minus the principal. Substitute. F is 16,077.89. Principal is 15,000 pesos. So the compound interest is 1,077.89. As an alternative solution, use this formula. Substitute the principal 15,000. I is 0.0175. N is 4 minus 1. Raise this to fourth power. Then minus 1. Then times 15,000. So they have the same answer as the previous one. Next, find the present value of 12,850 pesos due in 3 years if the interest rate is 6% compounded monthly. So this 12,850 is the maturity value, that is F, because we need to find the present value, which is P. 3 years time, interest rate is 6% or decimal point becomes 0.06. Compounded monthly, so M is 12. I is equal to R over M, the nominal rate over the number of conversion period per year. It is monthly, so 12. So 0.06 divided by 12 is 0.005. N is M times T. M is 12. T is 3. 12 times 3 is 36. The number of conversion period. So find the present value P. P is equal to F times quantity 1 plus I raised to the negative n. F is 12,850. I is 0.005. N is 36. Add this one, then raise to negative 36. So multiply this with 12,850. So the present value is 10,738.04. Next, at what rate of interest compounded semi-annually will 14,300 pesos accumulate to 17,000 pesos in 2 years and 6 months? So this is the present value and this is the future value. Okay. So present value 14,300, future value, maturity value 17,000, 2 years and 6 months. Convert this in 6 months into years. Compounded semi-annually, so M equals to, it is asking for the rate, so R is unknown. Change first months to years. So 6 months is 6 over 12 years. 6 over 12 is 0.5. Then N is M times T. M is 2, T is 2.5, this is 5. So this is the formula for finding the rate. R, M times quantity F over P raised to the 1 over N minus 1. So substitute M equals 2. F is 17,000, P is 14,300, N is 5 minus 1. Okay, divide this first. Then raise to the 1 over 5. So fifth root of this number is equal to this number minus 1. So what remain is this one times 2 is equal to 0.0704. So this is the rate. Changing decimal to percent, move decimal point 2 decimal places to the right. So the rate is 7.04%. Next, how many years will it take for 13,000 pesos to become 20,000 pesos at 12.5% compounded annually? So this is present value and the future maturity value. P, present value, maturity value 20,000. This is the nominal rate 12.5% or 0.125. Compounded annually, so M equals 1. It is asking for years, so T is unknown. With the formula, next, we have to determine I. I equals R over M. R is 0.125, M is 1, so it is equal to 0.125. Next is the formula for finding the time in years. It is equal to log of F over P all over M times log of quantity 1 plus I. Substitute F is 20,000, P is 13,000, M is 1, I is 0.125. Divide this one and add. So the quotient is this number, the sum of 1 plus 0.125. Then take the log of this number. Then 1 times log of 1.125. Then take the log of this number. After that, divide. So time is 3.66 years. Next, Joseph borrows 50,000 pesos and promised to pay the principal and interest at 12% compounded monthly. How much must he repay after 6 years? So 50,000 is being borrowed, so that is principal. Principal plus interest, that is asking for the future or maturity value. 12% is the nominal rate. 12% is 0.12 in decimal. Compounded monthly, M is 12. Time is 6 years. Okay, we have to solve for I and N. I equals R over M. The nominal rate is 0.12, M is 12, so 0.12 over 12 is 0.01. N is M times T. M is 12, T is 6. 12 times 6 is 72. So it is asking for F. This is the formula. Substitute the principal, P, 50,000. I is 0.01, N is 72. Add this two. Then rest to 72. This is the number. This is the result. Times 50,000. So this is the future maturity value is 102,354.97 pesos. Next, a loan of 125,000 at 8% compounded quarterly was paid back with an amount of 176,000 pesos at the end of the period. For how long was the money borrowed? So this is the amount borrowed and the maturity value. So this is the principal or present value and the maturity value. Okay, 8% is the nominal rate in decimal 0.08. Compounded quarterly, M equals 4. 176,000 is the maturity value. It is asking for how long or how many years. T is unknown. Okay, wait. Let us solve for I and N. I is equal to R over M. R is 0.08. M is 4. Divide 0.02. N. Oh no more N. T. Formula for T is equal to log of F over P over all over m times log of quantity 1 plus I. Substitute f and p. F is 176,000, P is 125,000, M is 4, I is 0.02. So divide and add this one. So the quotient, these two numbers is 1.408. 1 plus 0.02. Take the log of this number. Then take the log of this number also. Log of 1.408 and log of 1.02 correspondingly. Times 4. Then divide. So T is equal to 4.32 years. Next, how much must be invested today in a savings account in order to have 50,800 after 6 years and 9 months? If money earns 5.4% compounded semi-annually. So how much must be invested today? So it is asking for present value. 50,800 is at the end of 6 years and 9 months. So that is maturity value. Time is 6 years and 9 months. You have to convert months to year. The nominal rate is 5.4%. R. In decimal, this is 0.054. Compounded semi-annually, so M equals 2. So we will solve for P. Let us solve for, convert this into years. 9 months is 9 over 12 year. 9 over 12 is 0.75 years. So the time is 6 years, 0.75. I is equal to R over M. R is 0.054 over M is 2. So divide this 0.027. N is equal to M times T. M is 2. T is 6.75 years. Multiply 13.5. Okay, this is the formula for the present value P or the principal. Substitute F, 50,800. I, 0.027. N, 13.5. Add this first. Then raise to negative 13.5. So this is the result. Multiply this with 50,800. So the present value is 35,453.79 pesos. This is the amount invested. Then after 6 years and 9 months, it becomes 50,800 with this nominal rate compounded twice in a year. Okay, that's enough.